When renovations began on this property 11 years ago, it was to be a home with extensive living and entertainment areas, but with a warm and distinct architectural feel for the unique setting.
And this is, you've got a lovely mountain in your backyard.
Breathtaking, isn't it? It's definitely one of the things that sold us on this property.
Sculptural fixtures make a statement.
Gotta say, I love those lights.
Yes, these lights have quite an interesting story behind them. My husband, when discovering that I had purchased two very different lights for above the dining room table, wasn't so sure about my choice. And of course, to make matters worse, when they arrived, there were massive hollow steel pipes in two separate colors. Once assembled then, he was worried they'd have a chime-like effect. But all turned out fine in the end, and he loves them now.
Tell me about this incredible table.
This table was made bespoke for us by Pierre Cronier. Ideal for the space, of course, being such a large room. Great filled with family and friends for entertaining, and of course to take in the view of these magnificent Constantiaberg mountains.
The architecture forms a broad landscape-style frame for the valley beyond.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing you'll notice about this house is from whatever room you're in, you have this most beautiful view.
It feels as if one is immersed in the forest.
The light created by the windows above the bulkhead just adds so much to the lightness and airiness of the room. Lovely in the winter, of course, with the fire burning. And in the summer, just these doors stack right back, opening up the whole room to this expansive view. That's so gorgeous.
And that is really captivating.
It's a local designer, and it's organic, and just you sort of see through it and see past it, but at the same time it drops almost to the floor over this beautiful table.
Furniture from their previous home didn't work, and with their eldest son's engagement party within weeks of moving in, Anne had to decorate fast.
Well, I must say, that is the most unique piece of furniture I have ever seen. I love it.
Yeah, that was actually made for me by my husband. Being in the steel industry, he has all the machinery and capabilities to do almost anything with any kind of steel. It's a carbon steel table left completely untreated, weighs a ton, and I think it works beautifully sitting below the gorgeous willow lamp.
Considering that most of one's day is spent in the living areas, these rooms were positioned on the top floor, but the downstairs bedrooms still get a mountain panorama.
So this is our main bedroom suite, a real haven from the world. On entering this room for the first time, I felt really claustrophobic. Low ceilings and lots of curtaining on the window added to that effect. So we stripped the windows. I added some carpeting, which I felt linked the outside quite nicely with the inside. And it's created almost a nest-like effect here now, so it's really cozy. And of course, next door we have the ensuite bathroom. Lovely space with a spa bath and an indoor and outdoor shower. This leads on to an area where we did a renovation to create an extended dressing room. But Nico, the most amazing thing about this house, besides the beauty surrounding it, is the unseen technology that's contained in the walls. Not something that I can speak to you about, but probably Greg, my son, would be the best person to chat to. If you'd like to go and find him, I'll make us some lunch.
That sounds like a really good plan. Greg!
One advantage of the family's youngest son still living at home is that he's an in-house tech support manager. In return for his services, he enjoys full use of the facilities.
Greg, your mom says you are the guy to talk to about the techno aspect of this house.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the technology is the best part of the house for me. I mean, the lighting is awesome. I can set different moods according to exactly what I want. There's an entertaining button, so when I have a bunch of mates over for a party, you know, I can just hit the entertainment button and all the lights dim or brighten according to how I want it. As you can see here, I have access to cameras all around the house. This allows for my parents, even if they're overseas, they can look at the cameras and see what's going on. But my favorite part of the technology aspect is the music. For example, I can control every single room in the house and play whatever song I want, which kind of makes for the best kind of summer parties.
Let's check it out. All right, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
and you can play that anywhere in the house?
Anywhere, from this room to the bar to the pool, anywhere.
Shaking it. Okay, I got to get back to work.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you. I see the architects outside.
Cool. Thanks, Nico.
The originally overgrown garden had plants removed and trimmed, with curves and edges added to complement the architectural style that Darryl Kroom had envisaged for the property.
I must say that is quite an impressive view, as is the mountain, of course, which I would imagine makes for quite the architectural muse.
It certainly does. I'm just looking at these photographs and I cannot believe what we found here some 10 years ago compared to what we see here today. It was a house that was a typical kind of 60s sort of quirky styled house that was crying out for a complete remodeling.
And what did Anne want? What was their brief when they arrived?
Well, they wanted a softening of materials. So a softening came through in the use of timber, in the use of special furnishings, and right through to kind of a layering of curtains and all those special elements that she brought, which is definitely her touch and adds a whole nother feel to the house.
Loads of challenges, I would imagine.
With the introduction of so much glass to take advantage of those views, we had to introduce shutters, sliding shutters that take advantage of shading devices like pergolas. It all adds to the whole look and feel of the house.
I really love this swimming pool. I feel like I'm standing on the beach.
Absolutely right. That's what was intended. It had that sense. You could have your recliners sitting kind of on the sand, which were the tiles running into the pool, and still keeping a lengthy swimming pool with a special water feature, as we see.
And then the landscaping is quite complementary to the house as well. Is that something you were involved with too?
Yes, we were. It was very much part of the initial brief to involve the house in the landscape, to allow the house to extend into the garden areas. I mean, with Kirstenbosch as your backdrop, couldn't go wrong.
The best way to take it all in is over an easy lunch, here in the alfresco dining and living area. Even in the full heat of summer, it's shaded by generous overhangs.
Well, there you have it. Anne is obviously an expert at adding that final perfect touch. Beautiful mountain, gorgeous home, and pizza. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
They began with the best ingredients of location and outlook, kept it simple by not overcooking the design, and finished with understated but interesting decor. The result is a home worthy of its remarkable surrounds.